Hello, and welcome to a nurturing episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your nocturnal host, Davo. We have re-entered the dojo of pain that is known as Neil's Trivia Challenge, and we are excited to be progressing up the belt list, up the belt ladder. We have 3 yellow belts and a special guest, which I'll get to in a moment. But first, we have our Natalie dressed Kells.
How you doing, Chewbacca?
I am doing so well. We have our... Oh, man, my mind just went blank.
It's Andy.
Andy. Andy. I don't know why I try to pick letters that are common, like they give them to you for free on Wheel of Fortune.
Right. Yeah.
And I always crap out after like 2 or 3. It's very embarrassing.
You know, you knew you were recording a show today. Like you could have maybe practiced beforehand.
You know, I could have, but I like the flow and the feel of the, we're doing it live,
We do it live.
And finally, as yet another white belt entrant into the Kumite of trivia knowledge, formerly Ultra Mega Pregnant, now Ultra Mega Mom, Allison.
Hello. I fully expect to leave a white belt as well, but I'll give it a try.
We don't pull our punches here, but we think you've got the right stuff.
It's true.
Sensei Neil.
Yes, sir.
What are the rules?
The rules are every week we have a theme, and every week we have 6 categories within that theme. Each category has 4 questions each. Each question is worth 10 points. There may be a few bonuses thrown in here and there, and then we've got a final question that could be worth up to 100 points.
I am excited. I am thrilled to move up to, I believe, a green belt? Green belt? Yeah.
I don't know what comes after yellow.
I never got that far in my martial arts experience either.
You have martial arts experience?
I took 1 semester of karate in college for a PE credit.
He played a lot of Mortal Kombat.
And I played a lot of Street Fighter. Big ups to Chun-Li.
Okay.
So, Allison, you are going for your yellow belt. We are going for our orange belt. Neil, what is our category? Take it away.
Well, I'm sure you guys all know that next week is Valentine's Day. So I thought I would do an entire quiz on love. Because who doesn't love love?
I love love. It's all you need, right, Andy?
All you need is love.
Yeah.
Bet you can't buy
It's also
love.
a battlefield.
It hurts.
But let's not go too far down that road because who knows, you may give away an answer.
Oh, we have been chastened by the sensei.
All right. Well, as usual, category 1 is science.
Okay.
Question 1. According to some Rutgers scientists, love can be broken down into 3 categories: lust, attraction, and attachment, each with a separate set of hormones. What 2 hormones are associated with lust?
Is tequila a hormone?
Wait, neurotransmitter or hormone?
Hormone.
Wow, Allison just said something really sciencey too.
See, Allison, your contributions are already better than mine because I said tequila.
And I'm a little frustrated because I was writing down tequila and realized you wouldn't be saying it if it was the answer, so I'm crossing that out. Tequila's not it. Didn't know they had names.
You didn't know hormones had names?
I'm locked in.
Just thought they were called hormones.
Wow. You teach children, right?
Not sciencey stuff.
Okay, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
I'm punting. I got nothing. I don't even have a joke for this.
Yeah, I'm locked in. So
Okay. Kels, what's your answer?
I went with dopamine and oxytocin.
Oh man,
Dang it.
Andy?
Oh,
Andy
man.
punted like Ray Guy.
Hang time.
Davo?
Can we get half points on this?
We'll see.
I was gonna ask the same thing because I put dopamine and melatonin, which is not right.
Okay.
Ooh, getting real sleepy.
That'll make you
Yes.
sleepy.
Melatonin. Isn't that the
Yes.
color of skin?
Oh my
It's
God.
melanin.
Allison,
Look,
what was
after
your answer?
lust, we tend to get sleepy.
What?
Allison, what was your answer?
Oh, my students are going to be mad at me. Also wrote down oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, but then I wrote down serotonin. But I'm thinking Kels is right with dopamine.
Well, again, according to these scientists who made these categories, lust, attraction, and attachment. Attraction is mostly dopamine. Attachment is oxytocin. Lust is estrogen and testosterone.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's pretend that didn't happen and move on to question 2.
We're talking into microphones, Neil. It happened.
You could edit that out.
Whole first question.
What famous biologists published groundbreaking books on sexuality that challenged conventional beliefs about sexuality and discussed subjects that had previously been taboo?
Locked in.
That's what I like.
Ooh,
Question
I've
one
got it
more time.
between two doctors.
Locked in.
Can I get the question again?
What famous biologists published groundbreaking books on sexuality that challenged conventional beliefs about sexuality and discussed subjects that had previously been taboo?
Oh, you
Locked
said
in.
biologist. I blew it. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't hear biologist either. Now I think I blew it
Yep.
as well. I'm already locked in.
You and me, Andy, we're in this together.
All right, fair enough. Taking people down with me. I'm okay with that.
I have no idea. I'm locked in.
Okay. Now I'm checking to make sure that he was actually a biologist.
I'm hoping he was also an R&B singer. Because that's going to heavily influence my answer.
Well, I guess we'll see. Andy, what was your answer?
I put down Dr. Ruth, which is wrong.
Davo?
I put down Masters and Johnson.
Allison?
Oh.
I put down Kinsey, but then I wanted to say Masters and Johnson, but you only said one person. So I went with Kinsey.
Okay. And Kels?
No, I went with Barry White, which I didn't know he was a scientist also. So I'm a fingers
he's a
crossed.
scientist.
Well, the correct answer
Love Unlimited.
was Alfred Kinsey, who was indeed a biologist.
Kinsey.
Woo.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Kinsey. Dang it.
I had no idea he was a biologist.
Yeah, he was a professor of entomology and zoology and a sexologist. I think he made that one up.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I did not see that major when I decided to be a history teacher.
I am a psychology teacher, so I get to teach teenage children ranging from 14 to 18 about his works. So,
Nice. That seems
Do you get combat pay?
right? If only.
Question 3 in science. A prevailing theory as to why humans kiss on the lips as a manifestation of attraction is that it evolved from another behavior that many animals still do. What behavior is that?
Animals. Oh, I have a good guess. I never thought of this.
I have a guess, too.
I'm locked in.
Okay, I'm locked in.
You said other species?
Other species still do it. It's the thing that they think we evolved into kissing.
I haven't done this in a while, but I'm gonna punt.
Ray Guy.
I thought you were going to say you hadn't kissed in a while, which made me a little bit sad.
Oh no,
That would have made me very sad.
you're a sweetheart.
I would refuse to believe it.
All right. I guess, Devo, let's hear your answer first this time.
Well, I started to think about that involves proximity face to face. And I'm thinking sniffing around the mouth. That little, like when your cat gets close and sniffs around your mouth, or your dog will sniff around. So I'm thinking it was like a sniffing kind of
Okay.
thing.
Allison?
Oh, God. I'm quickly backtracking on my answer. But the only thing that I could think of was feeding like a mama bird.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a stretch.
No, that's actually I would be surprised if that was incorrect.
Kels, you're officially punted.
Oh yeah, the ball's still in
Okay.
the air. Fair catch it.
So, Andy,
I was thinking that I know a lot of animals will lick or groom each other to let the other one know that we're cool together. So I went with licking/grooming.
well, except for Kels, those are some pretty good answers. The correct one, though, is sniffing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice, Devo.
Thank you.
Question 4. Many animals practice monogamy. Which of the following are not monogamous? Prairie voles, bald eagles, lions, or dik-diks? What?
You know what? You're baiting me, and I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not going to do it. You know why? Because I'm better than that. I am
Are
better
you
than
giggling
that.
about tiny little gazelles that live in Africa?
that's right, Andy. Yeah, he is.
He is.
We're not going anywhere.
I'm locked in. You said are not
Yes.
monogamous, right?
I'm locked in
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
locked in.
See Allison's previous comment about teaching kids 14 to 18. I think that puts Andy in a mindset. It puts him in a place.
It really does. Never left that place. All right, I'm locked in.
Okay, I'm locked in.
Okay. Allison, what's your answer?
Oh, why'd you start with me? Okay. So I really, really wanted to pick dik-diks, but I
Hear that
went.
so often.
My logic here was that the other three seemed like obscure and not really eagles, but I went with lions, and I kind of feel ashamed about it, but I went with lions.
Kels?
Well, I also, like Allison, went with lions because I believe that the male is sharing it with all of the females in the pride.
Okay.
And that is not monogamy.
And Andy?
Yeah, I had the same logic as Kel's. I knew that lions ran in a pride, and that I believe that the male lion spreads the love.
Okay. And Devo?
I went with lions despite what the Lion King shows you.
The correct answer is sea lions. The others are all monogamous. All right, at the end of round 1, our scores are Davo and Allison tied at 20, and Kels and Andy tied at 10.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just didn't want to get skunked in the science category. I'm happy.
I'm always happy to get any points out of the science category.
That brings us to category 2, and music. And kind of an accident, this ended up
crap.
being 90s music. So
Yes.
Oh, bless.
I got a chance.
Locked in. It's Cardi B.
Cardi
Oh,
B.
you a bit early for Cardi B, but you do
She's
that.
probably not even alive.
question 1. Who asked "What is love" repeatedly in 1993?
Oh my gosh.
I know this started a live sketch.
If you didn't get it, that's the name of the song, "What is Love."
Locked in.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Right.
No. I'm locked in.
Oh, God.
Oh, I know. I'm right there with you, Allison.
I was born in 93, so this is going to be rough. Okay. I'm locked
That's not
in.
right. That answer is not right. I have not locked in yet, but I know. Okay. Okay, you know what? I am going to lock in and just take the pain. Ugh.
Okay, Allison, I'll let you go first and get it over with.
No. But okay. I'll get over this going first thing eventually. Well, I wrote down a stupid answer because I didn't want to punt, but I wrote down Ace of Base, and I know it's wrong, but at least it's in the right era.
At least yours is a word.
Dave,
I don't know what mine
yours?
is. I'm in Shamalar.
I don't.
Whoa.
Who?
Were you going for Shalimar? And
Yes. I totally failed. See, mine wasn't even a word, Allison. So you are a winner in my book.
Andy, what was your guess?
I'm uncomfortable with my guess as well because I think I'm getting this mixed up with something else, but I want it to be this band. It's a band, Kells, that I'm convinced had tickets on the mothership.
Okay.
Delight.
And Kels, what did you come up with?
I went with Hadaway.
Yeah, see, I knew it was one word.
Unsurprisingly, Kels is correct. It is Hadaway.
Oh, I had a. See, I wrote down Hadaway first, and I thought Hadaway's song was much later, and I thought Delight was the one that was in the 90s. All right. I am so frustrated now. Okay, fine.
Question 2. Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" is one of the best-selling singles of all time. What country singer wrote and recorded that song in 1973?
Yes.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, Davo?
Dolly Parton.
Andy?
Dolly Parton.
Els?
Dolly Parton.
And Allison?
Dolly Parton.
Excellent. It was indeed Dolly Parton. Here's a nugget. That song, her version of that song, topped the Billboard's country chart twice. Once in 1973 when she recorded it, and again in 1982 as part of the soundtrack to The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Some of Burt Reynolds' best dramatic work was The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Sure. Question 3. As Long as You Love Me was a huge hit for which 90s boy band?
I feel like it can be only one of 3 groups. I get them confused all the time.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Which one is it?
Well, I've locked in with my
Yeah,
selection.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Andy?
Backstreet Boys, I think.
Else?
Backstreet's back. All right.
Allison?
Well, at first I wrote down In Sync, and then I sang the song in my head and heard none of the beautiful notes of Justin Timberlake, and then I switched to Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
Deva?
Wow, speaking of the Love podcast,
He's a beautiful man with a beautiful voice.
Allison, I did the same thing. I did the same thing, and I could not hear any of Justin, but I heard all of the Backstreet Boys.
All right. That is correct. It was the Backstreet Boys. Question 4. Boys to Men had a hit in 1994 that spent 14 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Top 100. What was the name of the song? And for a bonus, tell me who wrote it.
Ooh.
Come on.
oh, I can see the video.
I know the song. The writer though. Okay.
It wasn't Shamalar.
Shalamar, and no, it wasn't the group Shalamar. I'm locked in.
What was their big hit, Davo?
Shalamar or Shamalar?
Yeah. Either one.
Shamalar hit it big with the Hoboken Boogie.
Okay. Sure.
It was kind of one of those one-hit wonders kind of thing. You remember when, Cherry Poppin' Daddies and that kind of big band thing was going on? Well, we all did the Hoboken Boogie at one point.
Okay.
That's not
okay.
true. We did not
None of that.
We did not all do that.
I thought you were making that all up.
Like a voice from on high. That's not true. Wow.
I'm locked in, by the way.
Is that everybody?
I am locked in as well.
Sure, me too.
All right.
Sure. Why not?
Sure.
Kels?
Oh, well, I believe if we're sticking to the theme of the show, the song is I'll Make Love to You. And in like just about everything around that time, I think the writer was Kenneth Edmonds, also known as Babyface.
Okay. Allison?
Oh! 'Cause he produced the
okay.
album, too.
So I wrote down only a song title that's wrong, and I couldn't think of who actually wrote it. I wrote down, because I was thinking of the theme, How Deep Is Your Love? And yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Deva?
Well, I wrote down End of the Road because that's the first Boyz II Men song that popped in my head. But I did write down Babyface because Babyface was everywhere in the mid-90s.
Yes, he was.
Okay. And Andy?
I wrote down I'll Make Love to You, and I'm so mad at myself because I think Kells is right. So I think Babyface produced that album. I wrote down Quincy Jones because nobody's cooler than Quincy Jones. And I think he's won the most Grammys. So I was just totally guessing.
Well, the correct answer is I'll Make Love to You, and it was written by Babyface.
Yay!
Nicely done,
Andy.
Kels. How Deep Is Your Love is a Bee Gees
yeah.
song, isn't it?
Yes.
It was a terrible guess.
Okay, just checking.
Also,
Not
Drew
proud
Hill,
of
I
it.
think.
What about
Shalimar?
Well, what about Shyamalan? Huh? Oh, sorry.
At the end of round 2, I've got Kels with 52, Devo with 42, and Andy and Allison tied at 40.
Anybody's game.
Anybody's
It's
game.
anybody's game.
Category 3 is sports, because we all love sports, right?
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You especially.
Question 1. Stan Love was the 9th pick in the 1971 NBA draft and was selected by which Baltimore team?
I'm locked in.
Oh,
I'm locked in as well.
So there might be somebody who is worse at sports than Neil. And I might be here to play today. So I'm locked in with something.
I guess I'm locked in. I have no idea who this guy is.
That's not exactly what I'm asking.
Yeah, I got a pretty good shot at the team, though.
I see what you did.
Oh, I just got that. I think I might be right. See, I'm locked in.
Okay. Let's start with Andy.
I think it's the Bullets.
Okay. Devo?
The Bullets.
Allison?
Oh God. Well, I wrote the Ravens because I believe that's a team associated with Baltimore.
You're correct. Isn't it?
It is.
It is indeed. So the question you answered in your head is right.
I'll take it. Woo.
I believe before they went to DC and got all magical that it was the Baltimore Bullet.
Correct answer was the Bullets. Here's a trivia nugget for you. Stan Love of the NBA was the brother of Mike Love of the Beach Boys.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not
Which makes
know
him a
that.
cousin of the Wilson brothers.
Well-
Did Stan Love do anything at all in the NBA? I've never heard of this dude.
He only played for about 4 seasons. I think he did maybe 2 at the Bullets, and then he moved around. So I don't remember what his deal was.
So
Okay.
But I do
Well,
know.
Here's a quick follow-up for you.
Okay.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. You might be answering my follow-up. Go ahead.
I'm moving on to the next question. So if you-
Is he related to Kevin Love, who is currently in the NBA?
Well, let me tell you, Devo. Question 2. Stan Love's son, Kevin, currently plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What do
that was beautiful.
I'm
That
so
was
sorry.
beautiful.
That's okay.
Davo broke the game.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me start over just so that you get the full effect of the question.
Okay.
Stan Love's son, Kevin, currently plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What award did the NBA give to Kevin at the end of his 3rd season, which is an award that was shared by Kevin Johnson of the Suns in his 3rd year, Tracy McGrady in his 1st season with the Magic, and most recently to Victor Oladipo in his 5th season? I probably butchered his name, but that's kind of what it looks like. Oladipo.
No, that's pretty good.
It's Oladipo. You are correct. Yeah. I am locked in.
I think.
What the heck? I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Okay, sure.
Davo.
Most improved player.
Allison.
Okay, yeah, that's funny that was the only guess I had for sports related awards. I put MVP. So, not improved,
Okay.
but valuable.
Kels.
Most improved.
Andy.
I believe he won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in dunking.
You haven't really seen
Excellent
him play,
guess.
have you?
But
Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, I don't think he's a dunker. He's more of a outside person, isn't he? More of a 3-point guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I got nothing. I was lucky on bullets. I'm waiting to get out of basketball.
Well, the correct answer, he was selected as the most improved player. Question 3. Davis Love III is one of the best golfers of all time. He participated in 8 Ryder Cups, winning 3, 6 President's Cups, winning 3, and tying once. So who does the U.S. team play in each of the Ryder and President's Cup competitions? Each year there's 2 teams.
I'm locked in.
There's 2 teams that play in the Ryder's Cup. One is the U.S. and what's the other one?
Yeah.
And then the same for the President's Cup. One is the U.S. Who's the other one?
Okay.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Allison, why don't you start us off this time?
I'll get some confidence here soon. I went with the UK.
Okay. There's actually 2 answers.
Oh, there are?
One for the President's Cup and one for the Ryder Cup. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
And I'll give you 5 points for each one.
All right. I'll just throw... Can I break up my answer? What if I go with... Well, I guess technically not more. I'll throw Ireland out there, too.
Okay. Dick Kells.
You were looking for 2 different answers. Well, could I have the same answer twice?
You may.
Okay. I'm just going to double up with the UK.
Okay. Andy.
The Ryder's Cup is the UK. And the President's Cup, I'm a little confused by this because they have a team that's made up from, they play another team that's made up of multiple countries. So, multiple
like
countries team, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a little confused by this question. So that's my answer. UK and
okay, David.
Everybody else.
The Ryder Cup is the United States versus Europe.
Okay.
And the President's Cup is the U.S. versus the UK.
All right. This is a tough one for me to answer, or for me to score, because the correct answer used to be the Ryder's Cup was the U.S. versus the UK. However, as the Americans got better and better at golf, the UK started losing the Ryder's Cup pretty regularly, so they opened it up. So now, today, the Ryder's Cup is made up of players from the U.S. versus players from Europe. So I think because Davo got it correct, I'm going to go with, I'm going to have to give him full points or half points. because the President's Cup is basically the U.S. players versus anybody that's not in Europe. So,
Ah, okay.
so Andy, you were kind of right. It is made up of a bunch of people, but so is the Ryder's Cup. I mean, a bunch of different countries.
Right. I didn't delineate between Europe or not. I didn't understand. I guess I don't keep up in golf, so I didn't know about the new switcheroo. So you can't give me the points.
I don't think it's new. I think it's been 20 or 30 years at least that they've made that change.
Okay, well, it's been a while since I checked in with golf, apparently.
They use metal clubs now.
Do they?
Indeed.
So I'm afraid on that one, I'm going to give Davo 5 points and none to the rest of you guys.
Woo!
Unfortunately. So by the time I got to question 4 in sports loves, I was starting to run kind of low on people named Love. Do you guys know who Glenn Love is?
No.
He was a former UCLA linebacker who now plays in the Canadian Football League in Montreal. So I just need you guys to tell me, what is the name of the Montreal Canadian Football League team?
Locked in.
I'm locked in too.
Oh, come on.
I took French for years, dude. I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right, I'm locked in.
Okay, I got something. Locked in.
Okay. Allison?
Okay, so I had no idea, so I just said the Canadians. Because that is where they're from.
Well, it's their hockey team. It makes you feel better.
Oh,
It is.
Well, look at that.
It is their hockey.
Yeah.
Technically, it's Canadians, right? Not Canadians.
It's French.
Canadians.
It's Quebecois.
Oh, fancy.
Kels?
I went with the Alouettes.
Andy?
I went with the Calvin Canucks.
And Davo.
That's in Vancouver, don't you know?
Oh.
And I went with the Alouettes.
The correct answer is the Alouettes, which I found out means it's a kind of bird, a lark, I think specifically. And have you guys heard that song?
Alouette, gentil Alouette.
So I looked up what that song means, and it's basically a song about plucking a bird, like taking the feathers off of a bird.
Oh, wow.
Oh. You know, like what serial killers do when they're young.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. That took a dark turn.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. At the end of round 3, I've got Kels with 82 points, Davo 77, Andy with 50, and Allison didn't have a good sports round. She is at 40. Now we're at category 4, which is literature. Question 1. Jane Austen once wrote, anything is to be preferred or endured rather than marrying without affection, which is exemplified by her character Elizabeth Bennet when she initially rejected whose marriage proposal?
Oh, no.
This is in that book that
Okay,
everybody talks about that I didn't read.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Oh. I'm locked in, but I may be kicking myself.
I probably got the wrong book, wrong author.
I'm locked in.
Okay. Andy?
It was me.
Okay.
She turned me down.
Wow.
It still hurts. So I appreciate you guys laughing. That's
I had no idea.
Kel?
You bounce back.
oh,
I'm hoping it was some dude named Heathcliff, or if not some dude named Heathcliff, then at least the cat.
Allison?
I was thinking something different. I wrote down Mr. Darcy.
Okay. Devo?
I locked in with Mr. Darcy as well,
That's it.
but if I remember the BBC miniseries, which I've watched a number of times, don't judge. Colin Firth is amazing. I thought she turned down the marriage proposal from the cousin who was a priest. So I could be wrong, but I believe it was Mr. Darcy.
The correct answer is William Darcy. And if I recall the story correctly, he was kind of a jerk, and then he asked her to marry him, and she said, "No, you're kind of a jerk." And then he proceeded to seriously woo her, and she changed her mind by the end of the movie, or the end of the book and movie.
Wow, man! Spoiler alert, Neil.
I know. I'm sorry. All right, question 2 in literature. Jay Gatsby became a multimillionaire and threw lavish parties to impress whom? And for a bonus, who was the narrator of The Great Gatsby? I need first and last names on both.
last names?
Who's a jigga? What? All right, I'm locked in. This is.
Oh, I guess if you give me just first name, I'll give you half credit. But I'll be disappointed.
Shoot.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm locked in. Thank you, Neil. Well,
All right. I'm locked in.
I have to take it there.
Is that everybody, or are we waiting for Devo?
Oh, I locked in first. Before the caveat, but it won't help me because I've never read this.
Did you see the movie?
No.
Well, let's just get it over with then.
What?
What's your answer, Devo?
Well, I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen IMDb before. So I wrote down he spent the money. The money part was Carey Mulligan, and the narrator was Tobey Maguire.
Oh my.
Devo? I mean,
Nice.
Allison.
Oh shoot. Okay. I'm pretty sure I got this wrong. Mom brain. But I think no, this is wrong. But I think her name was Daisy. And then for some reason, I don't know if it was a mental block or what, but all I could come up with for the narrator's name was Neil over and over again. And then I was like, that's not right. And so I wrote down Nate. Just a guess.
Kels?
Oh, so close.
The love interest was Daisy, and in an attempt to get credit, I wrote Lincoln.
Okay.
That's not right. But the narrator, I believe, was Nick Carraway.
Ah.
I love the book, but I was able to name the characters right away because my wife and I have a pair of wood ducks that come to our pond every spring for about a month, and we've named them Jay and Daisy from The Great Gatsby. And yeah, it's Nick is the narrator, though Neil is the best narrator.
So you don't have last names, Andy?
Jay Gatsby.
That-
I know that last.
That was in the
name.
question, so it doesn't really count.
But I don't have the last. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I don't know the other last names at all because we never give the ducks last names. They're Jay Duck and Daisy.
Okay, so
Duck.
this is interesting. Allison got Daisy. Kells got Daisy and Nick Carraway, so he gets 7 points. And Andy got Daisy for 5 and Nick for 1 bonus. The part that was missing was Daisy's last name, which was Buchanan. So Daisy Buchanan.
Okay.
Well, you knew the president, Kells.
I mean, it's gotta give me some. Oh, and they were presidents right after each other.
Yeah, Buchanan first, Lincoln second. You were in the ballpark.
15, 16.
Question 3 in literature. William Shakespeare is well known as a sonneteer, having published his quarto, which contained 154 sonnets. His poems fit the structure of the traditional English sonnet, which consisted of how many lines? And for another bonus, what meter does the English sonnet have? Typically.
Can we go back to sports?
I'm locked in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got numbers.
Yeah, there you go, Andy. Just throw them out there.
Right.
Get a feel for the space.
They're bigger than
It's like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
bigger than that. Okay.
Okay, I got something.
I'm
All
locked
right,
in
Allison,
as well.
what did you get?
Neil, why do you do me like this? Okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure I understood the question. So I wrote down iambic pentameter and 5. That might not have
No, you did answer the
question.
question. The question is how many lines are in a sonnet? And the bonus is what meter does the traditional English sonnet have? So you kind of flipped them, but I figured out which one you were answering. So,
Okay.
Kels.
Okay.
As far as the meter went, I agreed with Allison, and I went with iambic pentameter. But I believe there are 14
Andy?
lines in the sonnet.
I went with a baker's dozen because I have no idea, and iambic pentameter is the only one I could even think of.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know if there are other ones. Like, they're all in that, I think.
Devo.
Well, with 15
Oh.
and
sounds
iambic
right.
pentameter.
Well, everybody got iambic pentameter. But the traditional English sonnet has 3 quatrains and a couplet for 14 lines total. So full points to Kels.
I was getting that. See that structure? I was getting confused with haiku.
Mhm.
So
That's
I
5,
wanted.
isn't it?
That's well.
Mhm.
It is. It's the syllables in the haiku is 575. So I wanted. It
Oh,
was all getting mixed
Yeah.
up in my head.
So Shakespeare, he was using the traditional format of the sonnet. He kind of did something different. Most sonnets prior to him were about the ideal of love, like the love of a goddess and that kind of stuff. And he made it much more real, about real people and people with flaws. And he had some that were kind of humorous. He had one that sticks in my mind. I forget which number it was, but it's about a really unattractive woman that he loved, and he talks in the poem about how unattractive she is. So He kind of turned that upside down a little bit.
He's
Oh, so maybe my wife's been romantic all this time. Okay. Did not realize. Huh.
All right. Question 4 in literature. This novel by Diana Gabaldon features a World War II nurse who travels back in time and falls in love with a Scottish clansman in the 18th century.
I'm locked in.
Sure, why not?
I am so bombing this one. This is like my worst. All right, sure. I have an answer.
I got something.
Yeah, go ahead, Kels.
You should make Allison go first.
You stick with tradition.
I went with Love is a Battlefield.
That's so much better than my joke answer.
Yeah.
The Earl of Benatar.
Yeah.
The Return of the Daleks by Doctor Who. It's the only time travel I could come up with.
Devo?
Outlander.
And Allison.
Well, I wrote down Handmaid's Tale, cross that out, put Cardi B, cross that out, put Handmaid's Tale again.
Best joke answer.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Cardi B covers a lot of sins, I tell you what.
So you settled in on Cardi B or on Handmaid's Tale?
I feel like they're both about as wrong as they could be. So
one's
Handmaid's
definitely
Tale.
wronger than the other.
That is
The correct answer is a series of books that has been turned into a Starz television show called Outlander.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we have a we kind of have two really close games because we have Kells at 101 and Davo at 99. And then we have Andy at 58 and Allison at 57.
Coming for you, Andy.
So we do have a battle for the basement going on.
All right. Well, as a Cubs fan, I'm comfortable there.
Oh, I could one up you, Andy. As a woman, I am comfortable there.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
There was a podcast that we did on women. Were you on that one too, Allison, or was that just all men?
That was all men.
Oh,
That
okay.
was-
Just checking.
Progressive.
No, Neil saved the day at the end of that podcast by mentioning maybe we should have had a woman on the show, and I was relieved by that comment.
That was a sensei move.
My favorite quote from that podcast is Davo saying, women do sport.
As the booker for this show, I apologize for that mishap. But we don't know the. You know what? I'm not even gonna. What's
All
the
right.
next category?
Category 5 in the theme of love today is television.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Okay, question 1. From 1969 through 1974, an anthology series named Love American Style aired. One of its sketches spawned a spin-off show, which itself spawned 7 other spin-off series, including 2 animated shows. What show was spun off from Love American Style? And then for one bonus point each, name the 7 second-generation spin-offs.
Ooh. I think.
So really, I'm asking you to, if you know the name of the know what show spawned 7 spin-off series.
I can't do 7 though.
It's some of these are
But
obscure.
all right, I'm locked in with my real answer. I'm still doing the bonus ones.
I'll
Man,
sure.
good for you.
Seven?
Yeah, 7.
7 spin-offs?
I'm guessing you.
Well, there were 7 spin-offs
Right.
of the spin-off
Right.
from Love America.
Right. I could come up with 3. Oh, wait a minute. There was one with the. Oh, crap. Yeah. All right. I'm locked in. I'm not going to do as well as I thought on the bonus ones.
I'd be impressed if anybody gets more than 3 of those.
Oh,
Two animated series. That's
No, I
a
like
great
it.
question.
I'm locked in. I don't know if you guys are waiting on me.
I think
I'm
you're
not
the only
getting
one
any
locked
more
in
than
so
the
far.
3.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Neil, could you
Sorry.
read the question one more time?
Sure. From 1969 through 1974, an anthology series named Love American Style aired. One of its sketches spawned a spin-off show, which itself spawned 7 other spin-off series, including 2 animated shows. Which show was spun off from Love American Style? And then for one bonus, name the 7 second-generation spin-offs. Okay.
I'm going to lock in, and it's really more of a submission to the question, Sensei Neil.
Submission to the question.
Yeah. I'm not getting anywhere.
Okay. Why don't you start us off, Allison?
Oh.
Wow.
Oh man. I only wrote 2 things down. And I just took some guesses. Like I tried to span it out, hoping something would be right. I wrote down Family Guy and Monty Python.
Those are both TV shows.
2 of my favorite things, too, in the world.
Devo?
Yeah, there you
Well, I went with a show that I know has a number of spin-offs. I didn't know it was 7, and I don't know if I'm right, but I went with All in the Family as the show. And my 2 spin-offs that I wrote down were The Jeffersons and 227.
Okay.
227's a spinoff of All in
No,
the
it's
Family?
not.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, really?
It's a spin-off of The Jeffersons. It's a spin-off of The Jeffersons, which...
Is it?
No.
No, it just
Mark
has
Gibbs plays 2 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
No, it was
completely different characters.
That wasn't Flo?
No.
I mean, it's the
No.
lady who played
Well,
Flo,
then...
but her name
Well, I
wasn't
know,
Flo.
but-
Yeah.
Her name wasn't Flo? Okay. Well, then I have one thing.
go. Oh, I think I just came up with one more too from that.
My apologies.
I could name at least 2 other spin-offs from All in the Family.
Wasn't Archie Bunker's place?
Archie
Maude.
Bunker's Place.
Maude. That's
Archie
what-
Bunker's place, yeah.
Well, bully for all of you.
Anyway,
You got the Jeffersons, though.
Andy?
I was Believe it or not, I used to watch Love American Style. I'm pretty sure it's Happy Days, though I can't fathom. I can't fathom 7 spin-offs from Happy Days. I came up with Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, Joni Loves Chachi, and the Weezer video Buddy Holly.
Okay. And Kels.
Okay, I was just trying to find a show that I knew had spinoffs. So I wound up at Happy Days.
Okay.
And Joni Loves Chachi, I knew for sure. And I threw Laverne and Shirley out there because I just felt like they were connected. But that's as far as I got.
Okay. Love American Style actually had 2 different shows that spun off. One was an animated show. I think it was the first major animated show since the Flintstones, and it was called "Wait Till Your Father Gets Home."
For real?
It started.
I used to watch that.
Did you? It actually had Tom Bosley doing the voice of the father, which is a coincidence because Tom Bosley played the father in the other spinoff from Love American Style, which was Happy Days. And in no particular order, the spinoffs from Happy Days included Laverne and Shirley, Blansky's Beauties, Mork and Mindy, Out of the Blue, Joni Loves Chachi, and the 2 animated ones were The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang. And the other one was Laverne and Shirley with special guest star The Fonz. So by my count, I've got Kels with 12 and Andy with 13 from that one.
Well, sometimes I feel guilty about beating a dead horse, reusing the same old jokes, but wow, that's really beating a dead horse with some of those spinoffs. Laverne and Shirley with special guest, the Fonz. Oh, that must have lasted like 30 seconds.
It never came back from the commercial break.
They got halfway through the first episode, and they just went to a rerun of Hogan's Heroes. This isn't working. Throw on Hogan's Heroes or F-Troops.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that those were Saturday morning cartoons, and there were some pretty awful Saturday morning cartoons back then.
To be fair, man, I wasn't picky on Saturday mornings, and I never ran into those, or at least don't remember them.
All right, question 2 in television. The Love Boat aired in the 70s and 80s and featured guest appearances by many well-known actors. Name either of the women who guest starred 10 times. And I'll give you a bonus if you can name both of them.
Crap.
Oh, I think the one that just died. Why am I saying that out loud so everybody else can get clues?
No, please continue, Andy.
When did the Love Boat air?
The 70s and 80s. Late 70s, early 80s.
I'm locked in with people.
Did you ever watch The Love Boat, Kels? Have you seen it?
I did not, but I know that Isaac was the bartender. Yeah, that's all I know. And was there a guy on the name Gopher?
There was.
Okay.
All right, I've got locked in with one. I got one I'm pretty sure about. Do we get points if we have one?
Yeah. I'm asking for one, and I'll give you a bonus if you get 2.
Oh,
okay.
I got one for sure. I feel better about this. All right.
Okay. I wrote 2 people.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Can I just guess a second one just for fun?
There's no penalties for a wrong answer, except mockery sometimes.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'm starting to learn there is honor in punting.
What?
There is no honor here. You're looking in the wrong places.
Okay, I'm locked
Okay.
in.
I think that's everybody. So, Davo, why don't you kick it off here for us?
Allison, why don't you kick it off here? Dang it.
Are you trying to usurp my prerogative?
Okay, I like to. No, sir. No.
You tighten up that yellow belt when he's talking to you.
Well, I like to have one written down in parentheses just so I can make myself feel better. So I have that.
Mm-hmm.
I shamelessly took Andy's clue and I went with Carol
Son of a-
Channing
God, what
for one of them. And the second one, I'm a little concerned, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Florence Henderson. And I have my one in parentheses that I'm going to save for later.
Andy?
Carol Channing. Why did I do that out loud? And Oksana Bayou.
Oksana Bayou.
Kels?
I just threw out Farrah Fawcett and Barbara Eden.
Okay.
Oh, good guesses,
Those are,
actually.
and yes.
And
Yeah,
Allison?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm drawing these two names from a drinking game I've played before. I went with Kirstie Alley and Sally Struthers.
So,
Sally Struthers is always comedy gold, incidentally, if you're picking a joke answer. That's comedy
I haven't
gold.
heard that name in like 15, 20 years either.
so I don't have the list in front of me. However, I would not be at all surprised if Sally Struthers did do some guest appearances on the Love Boat. She's definitely the caliber of actress that would be on there frequently. However, she did not appear 10 times. Kirstie Alley, it was kind of before her time, so I don't think she was. I doubt that she was ever on there. Carol Channing definitely was.
Darn it.
However, she also did not appear 10 times. She was more like 6 or 7, I think. The two ladies who were the most frequent guest stars on the Love Boat were Florence Henderson and
Yes.
Charo.
Charo.
Yes.
Charo! Rats!
Exactly.
I should have gotten that. The hoochie coochie thing.
Is the name just Charo?
Yes, she was I think she was Mexican, but she was it the Coochie Coo or Hoochie Coochie or?
Yeah, she had this like catchphrase like Coochie Coo. She was like a lounge act, singer, dancer, exotic, pretty kind of thing, but played kind of a ditzy character.
She was one of those people from the 60s and 70s who was kind of a celebrity for some reason that nobody could ever quite figure out.
Yeah, for no
like she was on
reason.
the Hollywood Squares a lot too.
Well, she exaggerated her accent.
Oh,
so that she.
Yeah.
I just.
So it was an extreme. Oh, let me move over here, and it was very high pitched, and she was very buxom and very. But she was a classically trained Spanish guitarist.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
and she was amazing playing Spanish guitar, and she kind of played up that ditzy, over sexualized persona to get gigs, but she could play the guitar like nobody's business.
And I was also going to say, this is kind of in the era where, the Las Vegas lounge acts were kind of still a marquee star issue. If you were playing Vegas, you'd be on Carson and other shows. And I suspect that's where she kind of got her toehold into TV.
Where was you don't have the list? I was going to ask you about the list. Never mind, Neil, because I wrote down Cloris Leachman because it feels like she was on that show all the time.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah,
Probably was. And the mom from Happy Days,
Mrs.
can't remember her
Cunningham.
name.
Well, that's not her real name, Dave. Oh, you see,
Yes.
she was an actress. That was a character she played
She
on
was real
TV.
to me.
Anyway, she was actually on more episodes, but she started off as one of the guest stars, but then I think she eventually married
Oh.
Captain Steubing. And so she became kind of a semi-regular. So she wasn't really a quote unquote featured
Captain
guest
Steubing was a
appearance
good guest.
anymore after that. So. Yeah. All right. Question 3. Love Is All Around is the theme song to what 60s sitcom?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm locked in.
I know you've all seen this.
Love is all around.
A 60s music question, and I'm crashing.
You guys know how Davo always gets upset when you ask questions from this decade?
Yeah.
Could you please ask questions from this decade?
She's got a point.
Terrible. Oh, this is so bad. Ugh,
Oh, wait a minute.
awful.
I'm thinking of the Trog song. This is something different.
Hey, that's what I was thinking too. Trog
Somebody's-
song. Good God.
No, you know the Trog song. No, all right. I got.
60s sitcom. I'm just stuck. Okay, I'm just stuck.
All I can think of is the Trog song, and that's not right.
I'm locked in with garbage because I'm stuck, and we're moving out of the 60s, hopefully.
All right. Yep. I'm doing the same thing.
The next question's
Yeah, I'm just-
solidly 80s.
Yes!
I lived in the 80s.
Hey, Allison, did you live in the 80s?
I did not.
Mr. Buy Hair.
Oh, good luck.
Buy Hair.
Yeah, I'm punting. I'm sorry. I took all that time just to
Ray
punt.
guy.
Right, yeah. Hang time.
So, Davo, what did you come up with, if anything?
Well, in a fit of pique, I put down the Partridge Family because I kept thinking, come on, get happy, and it wouldn't get out of my brain.
Allison punted. Else?
Who can turn the world on with a smile?
Oh, son of a.
Who can take a nothing day, suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? That would be the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Andy?
I'd like to throw my head in the air and just watch it freeze
But that wasn't from the
Yeah, sure it
60s.
was.
just because of that.
That's from the 70s. Oh, no, it wasn't. Yes, it was. No,
Oh, wait.
80s. Ho.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
80s.
I'm sorry.
That was
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore is the 70s.
from the 70s.
Would that have made a difference?
No.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it would not.
Nope. I'll be straight up. Nope.
Just for completeness, Andy, I don't think we've gotten your answer exactly yet.
I was also guessing. I went with
Okay.
Mr. Ed. Don't you laugh at me, Kelvin.
I'm sorry.
I know who the drummer is for The Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you going to
Don't
make
you
it
laugh
after
at me.
all?
Not this time. This is a bug hunt, man. Game over.
Well, so the correct answer is Mary Tyler Moore Show, and I apologize to everyone for missing the decade there, and I hope that didn't throw anybody else off.
Don't worry about it, Neil. Love is all around.
Oh God.
Whoa.
Okay, question 4 in love. Whose marriage set the record for the most watched daytime drama episode?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Not Days of Our Lives. It's the other one.
Yeah.
You do realize you have a microphone in front of you, right?
Yeah. Inner monologue, Andy. Inner.
I've never been good at that.
Dang it. Neil, did you say this is supposed to be in the 80s?
I guess
Oh,
I could double check
definitely.
that.
No, it is. I will confirm with
it
you.
is.
It is like 81 or 82. It's very early 80s.
I didn't see
Oh, dear. Then my answer, we're going to cross that out.
Frantic scratching.
I'm locked in.
Nope, we're just going with it because I don't have a better answer. Okay. I'm locked in.
Okay, is that everybody?
I believe
Okay,
so.
Allison.
Well, Andy, did you lock in?
Of course.
Yeah, I locked in a while ago.
Okay. All right. Did you say?
I didn't quite catch
Allison
that, Neil. Who
does.
gets to go first?
'Cause I don't have a-
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
nice.
cool.
Because she's a guest, so we're going to let her go first this one time.
This one
So
time.
polite.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the 80s really was in my prime. But I wrote down Ross and Rachel. And I'm sad about it, but
You sad that they got married, or sad that you
Nice.
answered that?
sad that that's all I got. That's it.
And said they got married. Ross was a jerk.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was also the 90s, but that doesn't really. Yeah.
it was. It was. It
Kels,
was
I
so
think
in
you
the
locked in pretty
90s.
quickly.
Yeah. Coming from a home where I wasn't allowed to watch what I wanted to watch until after 3 o'clock, I knew about a show called General Hospital, and I heard through the grapevine that Luke and Laura's wedding was a pretty big deal.
Okay, Andy.
I struggled initially because I wanted to put down Bo and Hope for my mom for Days of Our Lives, but it was
Oh,
definitely
no.
Luke. Bo and Hope, yeah, and you know how what was his name? What was the evil guy on Days of Our Lives that tried to break up the marriage?
I don't
Bugging me
remember,
out.
but Bo and
It's-
Hope were awesome.
Stefano, that's his name. Now I feel better.
Of course, it was.
Stefano, who is the father to the woman we just talked about from Friends. That's
Oh.
Jim Brown.
that's her father.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Jennifer Aniston's dad is Stefano in Days of Our Lives. I am so embarrassed by how much I know about soaps, but I did not go with Bo and Hope. I went with Luke and Laura.
Okay.
But Mom, the Days of Our
Ava?
Lives thing was for you.
Luke and Laura from General Hospital.
The correct answer was Luke and Laura from General Hospital. So it's got everybody but Allison on that one.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of I remember that kind of vaguely happening, but I wasn't watching the show, and I knew that it was kind of controversial because in earlier episodes Luke had actually raped Laura, but I thought, well, that's kind of weird that
Yes.
they would get married later. But then I kind of realized after I read a
weird.
little bit about them that Laura was no angel herself. I mean, she did kill someone beforehand, and then together killed someone else who was trying to like take over the world or something. So I mean, they weren't really.
Good Lord.
I
What
know.
is this smut television?
I'm feeling so much better about my own relationships now.
Hey, and that stuff came on at like 11 a.m.
Oh my.
Days of Our Lives came on at noon, just so you know.
General Hospital
I
came
still
on
remember
like
that.
2,
Okay.
I think.
Not that
All
I
right.
watched it.
At the end of round 5, I've got Kells with 133, Davo with 119, Andy with 81, and Allison still has 57.
Oh,
But she is a good sport.
I don't think the stable was necessary.
she is a good sport.
All right. So, since next week is Valentine's Day, our final category is Valentine's Day history. Question 1. The now defunct candy company Necco sold the Sweethearts Conversation Candy, which had been the most popular Valentine's Day candy for many years. What did Necco stand for?
Could we get a spelling? Because I don't think I've ever seen this word.
Necco. You ever seen Necco wafers in the store?
I have not. I've heard
They're the
of
same
them, but I've never
remarkably
seen
hard
them.
candy, just in a slightly different format.
Yeah, they're awful.
All right.
I'm
Locked in.
locked in.
Ooh, jinx. I'm locked in as well.
Necco, correct? Okay.
I may give partial credits if you get some of the words right.
Oh, there will be none of that here. I'm locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everybody? Okay. Andy, why don't you kick it off here?
I wrote down New England Confectionery Company, but I'm not. It might be New England Candy Company, but I wrote down New England Confectionery Company.
Okay. Kels?
I went with nutrition everyone can count on.
Kels wins.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is a great acronym, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, Kels, there's no points awarded for that.
I figured.
Allison?
Well, I also went in the Kells direction, and I said, not even candy, chalk only.
Nope, I was wrong. Allison beats
there's
Kels.
Wow, that was
the new
great.
leader in the clubhouse.
Okay, Devo?
I went with the New England Candy Company.
Oh, I was wrong. Son of a...
Don't assume I'm right.
So they were in the news recently. You guys heard about the Candy Hearts shortage we're going to have this year, right?
I
Because
did not.
Necco recently got bought by another company, and that other company basically, through various potential layoffs and other things, basically couldn't get that factory up and running in time to produce enough candy for Valentine's Day this year. The company was originally called the New England Confectionery Company.
Through the up.
Very good.
Andy gets full credit. I'll give Davo half credit for missing confectionery.
Comeback trail. Cinderella story.
So those little conversation hearts, Necco was making 8 billion of them a year.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
more than one for every person on the planet every year.
For little chalk and acids.
yeah. That's
Yet
a
every
B
time I
mine.
got one, it just said loser. So what are the odds?
Yeah.
And just a public service announcement: Brock has their own version of these, and they're probably ramping up. So if you do see some candy hearts out there, they're probably the inferior Brock kind.
Oh my goodness.
We apologize to all our listeners that work for the great company of Brock. We respect your product and sorry for calling you all inferior.
I called it candy inferior, not the people.
Oh, well, that's different.
People are all
We have been basically dogging on them for the last 10 minutes. So
Well, no, I'm saying that the Necco version was better than the Brock's version.
which is again not saying much. Please,
Well, it's all
please,
relative.
please, Allison, could you repeat your answer for us?
I'm trying not to get sued these days.
Probably wise.
Let's just move on to question 2. What company created the first box of chocolates in the 1860s?
Ooh.
It never occurred to me that someone had to invent the first box of chocolates, but this company did. It's a well-known company that's still in existence.
Well, I'm going to lock in with what I think is the correct answer.
I think I know this. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in with a alternate answer in parentheses.
Yeah, I'm locked in too.
Okay, Devo?
Well, I think it was the Whitman sampler.
Okay.
Oh, that's where that voice was coming from.
Yep.
I was. Wasn't that? I'm sorry. I'm still. All right, the voice threw me. I think the
finest candy since 1862.
I can't now. I got to get.
Well, you should probably go to someone else.
It's the same voice from.
Kels, what was your answer?
I went with Nestle, but I fear it might be the Mama Always Said company.
I don't know what that means, but Allison, what was your answer?
Oh gosh, now everybody else's answers are making me feel inferior. But I wrote Stouffer's.
Okay. Andy, are you ready now?
Yeah. I think
Okay,
this
go
got
ahead.
started in England, didn't it? And I think it's Cadbury. I'm pretty sure of that.
It did in fact get started in England, although the company was Cadbury.
I busted out my Whitman impression for nothing.
I wouldn't say for nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
apparently
the
there was some
Pepperidge
entertainment
Farms voice. Oh, it took me a few minutes. It's the Pepperidge Farms voice.
Yes. Do you have a nugget on Cadbury?
I mean, I do. It's not that interesting.
I actually want to hear it.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, so Cadbury came up with this way to make chocolate drinks taste better, and I'm doing this from memory, so bear with me if I get some of the details wrong. But part of that meant that they had a lot of they only used part of the chocolate for that, and they had this what do you call it? They had some chocolate parts left over after the drink, and that's what you use to make chocolate candies. And so they were able to use the cocoa, maybe it's cocoa butter that they were using to make more candies. And so they were trying to figure out how to get rid of it. So they made little heart-shaped boxes and put the chocolate in it.
So it was essentially a way to get rid of excess product.
Yeah, they had this byproduct of their chocolate drinks, and they made it into candies. I mean, I think they were making candies before anyway, but now they, because of this other process, they had more of the stuff to make the candies with.
You get a lot of the chocolate, pardon me, you get a lot of the chocolate out of the nib. That really good, tasty chocolate comes out of the nib of the chocolate. So I'm betting it was the more milk and fat you add to it, the less bitter it gets. So you'd make your chocolate drink, your cocos tend to be darker. So it would leave off that chocolate, that cocoa butter kind of stuff. So I can see where that happens.
Yeah. All right. Question 3 in Valentine's Day history. The 48th United State was admitted on Valentine's Day 1912. What state was that?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh.
We got two
Okay.
historians and a list fanatic, so this is kind of stacked against Allison today.
The saddest part is I have a history degree, but it's all right.
Well, Neil, you had no idea that you would trigger a very painful memory for me, but this does. And I will elucidate as the trivia nugget.
Wait, when you were alive
Did you
in
just use
1912?
lucidate?
Once the answer is given, I will let you know what the deal is.
Okay, I'm locked in.
God,
But Neil, if you
something to do
start with me,
Colorado.
Hey, Kels, what was your answer?
I went with Arizona.
Okay. Andy?
Arizona.
Eva?
Arizona.
And Allison?
well, it started with an A, but then it's wrong after that. I just wrote Alaska.
Okay.
Ooh, off by one.
Yeah. It was very close. Okay, the correct answer is Arizona. So, Devo, do you have a story?
Here's the story. I lived in Arizona for a time. I lived there for 3 years. We happened to move from Colorado to Arizona.
Oh, Colorado.
And yeah, Colorado. I started school at O.C. Johnson Middle School in Yuma, Arizona. And there was a Arizona history test on my very first day of class. And the only thing I could remember was February 14th, 1912. Okay? Oh, it gets better for the cruelty scale.
Okay.
That was the day midterm grades went out. So my first day of school, I returned home with a report card that said I had an F in history because my first day from being there in Arizona, my first day at Arizona schools was the day they released midterm grades asking me about Arizona history. Only F I've ever gotten in my life.
And you were
I love the idea of the teacher's lounge. The teacher's like, these stupid Colorado kids they send us. Don't know anything about Arizona. What are they teaching there in Colorado?
Did you guys know that there's another state that was also admitted on Valentine's Day? But this one was in 1859.
Let me think about this. 1859.
I'll give you the number if it'll help.
Sure.
Nope. All right. So it's before the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which means it's got to be. Oh,
You got it?
I think so. It's either Texas or California.
Okay, that's incorrect. So, Kel,
Damn.
if I told you it was the 33rd state, would that help you?
Not as much as I was hoping. No.
It was Oregon.
Oregon? Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's a big state.
Yeah, I suppose.
Apologies to our listeners in the great state of Oregon.
Already pissed off the Brox people.
Just going for
Keep the
everybody.
ball rolling.
Yeah.
Question 4 in Valentine's Day history. Going a little bit different route here. Whose gang was targeted by the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929?
Locked in.
Could you say that one more time, Neil?
Whose gang was targeted by the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929?
Starting to feel like middle school all over again.
Don't sound right.
Everybody else has done it. I'm punting. Ray guy.
Because I know who it's.
Kel's only.
I know who it's. You said who was targeted, right?
Right.
Kel's, you're leaving me hanging.
Hang time. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Man, I can tell you who gave the order to who. Pone gave it to Nitty to like carry it out. Man, I don't.
Never
Okay.
remember the victims.
I've got a guess.
Okay, I'll guess it's not right, but
You're gonna love this answer, Kels.
am I?
Mm-hmm.
Is that everybody?
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Okay. I'm not going to start with Allison. Let's go with Davo.
I punted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I punted.
Well, then straight to Allison.
Allison.
Yep. Okay, well, I'll, I guess, try to catch that punt. I wrote Al Capone.
Okay. Else?
Okay, so I watched a show called Boardwalk Empire, and they had Al Capone. They went between Atlantic City and Chicago a bit, and I know Al Capone had a beef with a guy named Dino Banyan, and I'm hoping it was his crew, but I think they might have got wiped out before then.
Andy?
Al Capone ordered Egan's Rats to take out the North Side gang.
Okay. Do you know who the head of the North Side gang was?
It was Dino Banyan.
I don't know why that name doesn't sound right. I'll
I'll
let you ask the gang name.
No, I was asking. I didn't say which gang. I said whose gang. But I'll actually give you credit for it. Well, it was the Northside Gang, and I'll give you full credit for that. I thought that was too
Okay.
so I didn't. That's why I didn't ask it. That gang though was run by George Bugs Moran.
Yeah, Bugs Moran. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm from Chicago.
You're from Shermer.
You're from Chicago?
Actually, what's really cool is
You went to Chicago in a Ferrari.
Shermer is not a real place.
So what about Cameron and
Those
Sloan?
were movies.
Cameron and Sloan were like your best friends. I watched you run home. to beat Genie?
They were movies.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I grew up outside of Chicago, and I moved to Chicago. But there was a town called Oregon, Illinois, about halfway between my hometown and Chicago. And Oregon was there's still parks there and stuff. And Al Capone had one of his houses there. And what's kind of cool is it's still relatively the way it was when you lived there, and you can pick it out right away because it's in the middle of farmlands and woods, and it's the only house that is surrounded by a very elderly looking but a chain link fence with barbed wire. And the driveway has a separate little house at the entrance with a gate where his guards used to live.
Very cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's kind of cool. Still there.
All right. That was the final question of our regular rounds. And by my calculations, I've got Kells with 143 points, Davo with 134 points, Andy with 121, and Allison with 57.
So Cinderella story, Allison. Coming out of nowhere.
You could win this.
You could win this.
Technically,
I don't know if that's true, but
it's possible.
Okay.
You're mathematically still alive.
Yes.
As a Cubs fan, how many times have I said that?
All right. So our final question it comes from, are you guys familiar with the American Film Institute?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they do a lot of things, but one of the things that they do is create lists of the best movies of all time in different categories. In 2002, they released a list of their top 100 greatest love stories. And I've got the top 20 right here, and all you need to do is name any 10 of the top 20 love stories according to the AFI from 2002. So, spoiler, there are no films after 2002 in this list.
So the Fast and the Furious isn't on there?
For so many reasons, it's not on here. So this is what they consider to be love stories. So I'm not responsible for some of the ones that are on here. Okay. Let's start with Allison. We're going in numerical order.
If none of these movies were animated, I am screwed. Okay, I wrote down Casablanca, Titanic, The Notebook, but in hindsight, I don't think that was actually before 2002. Then we went into the animated. Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, Beauty and the Beast. Then Forrest Gump. And just, why not?
I suppose.
Brokeback Mountain.
I think that was a little later, but that's a solid list, though.
That's a solid list.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay. How about let's try Andy next.
Okay. Well, when you said stories about love, Love Story is the one that leapt to mind first. Then Casablanca, and then a couple for my daughters I grew up with. They love Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. And then The Graduate, which we talked about the other day. Grease. Dr. Zhivago for my mom. And then I started really American President, Hard Day's Night, and Help.
Oh, come on.
And if Hard Day's Night and Help don't make this list, the list is wrong. There,
Okay.
I said it.
Noted. Devo.
Noted.
Okay. Titanic, Casablanca, Love Story, The Graduate. I don't know why I got stuck on that. I said Some Like It Hot, which isn't really a love story. 7-Year Itch.
Oh, that's a good one.
Sleepless in Seattle. The Quiet Man.
Ooh.
Easter Parade. I think I was leading up to a Rogers and Astaire movie that I just couldn't quite get there. American in Paris and Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
And that brings us to Mr. Kells.
All right, so I got Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, the movie where the people are kissing on the beach. So I'm hoping there was love there from here to eternity. My Fair Lady, When Harry Met Sally, West Side Story,
Man.
Ghost, Pretty Woman, King Kong, and Titanic. Did I say Titanic first?
You did not.
Okay, Titanic.
Wait a minute. King Kong, a love story.
Yeah.
You put okay. Just checking.
'Twas beauty that felled the beast.
Oh, come on.
Did you have 2 Beatles movies in yours?
Yeah, because we're talking about great movies.
No, we're talking about love stories.
So what I've got is Kells with 5, Andy with 3, Devo with 2, and Allison with 1.
Yeah, I got 3.
That's what I got.
Do you want to double check the list to make sure Hard Day's Night and Help aren't on? They should be towards the top.
They're not in the top 20. I can tell you that.
They're probably 21 and 22.
That's weird,
Andy. Just be honest.
Weird.
Just right past Little Mermaid.
Well, I don't know who these AFI people are, but they don't know anything about film.
Okay, so by my count, we've got Allison with 1 correct, Devo with 2, Andy with 3, and Kells has 5, which brings our totals to in 4th place today, Allison with 67. Andy in 3rd place with 151, just edged out by Devo with 154. But nobody could catch Kells, who ended up with 193.
Kells.
You killed it, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Moving on to the urge.
You are an orange belt.
Moving on to the urge.
Well, Allison, I hope you had fun.
I had fun. I got pummeled, but I had fun.
And we want to have you back because you're a wonderful, wonderful guest.
Well, thank you. I feel like the kid on the team who came for the orange slices and left with a spotless jersey.
But as long as that kid had fun, that's what matters.
Well, thank you for the orange slices. So if you guys out there would like to hear more from Allison and all the rest of us, please, there are a number of steps you can take to ensure our success to help us provide you with this wonderful entertainment. Number 1, go out there and listen to us. We are on iTunes. We are on Spotify. If your podcast catcher will find us. But we need reviews. So whatever you're using, Google, iTunes, Spotify, what have you, review us. Tell us what you think of the show, which will raise our visibility, which will make it even easier for you to listen to us at home. We are on Twitter at LadleBrain. So you can send us all your ideas, all your questions, all your comments. We're here to listen to them. I check the tweeter 4 or 5 times a day. I'm all up on it. We're on Facebook, Brain Ladle Productions. We have a website, brainladletrivia.com. We're out there. Come talk to us. And we have a Patreon if you feel so strongly about Brain Ladle Trivia that you want to throw us a few ducats. Thank you, Susan L., for throwing us those ducats. Allison.
Yes.
Is there anybody you would like to shout out?
Just a few. So I've got to shout out my husband, Major, who's going to be really disappointed when he listens to how I failed miserably at the sports questions. Little baby Jack, the youngest Ladler, and then Andy and I's coworker, Corey Thomas, for all his mentoring help and just being the best guy, really.
Supportive.
Thank you very much for those shout outs. From everybody here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is Davo with Allison.
Just happy to get my participation medal.
Andy.
Shout out to Macy Westfall and Aaron Harris, two big fans, and so long, Ladle Brainers.
Kells.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take the both, and there you have the facts of life. Once again, that's the facts of life.
And Neil.
Love is all around. There's no need to fake it.
Yes.
Signing off.
Yes.
Fake it.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.